We have to turn now our attention to a pursuit that has been happening.
Following some breaking news in Hollywood. Let's get over to Mark Lou. Mark, what do we know about this one?
All right, well, this is what you're looking at right here. That's, we believe to be a 2018 Land Rover that is currently trying to evade police in the Koreatown area. Now, this is a pursuit, LAPD in cooperation with the CHP, but they're not the originating agency on this pursuit. The want on this vehicle, 187, murder suspect out of Santa Monica. Santa Monica PD started this pursuit in the San Fernando Valley. We heard this go down on the scanners initially around the 405 at Roscoe. Santa Monica PD officers in pursuit trying to pull over this 2018 Land Rover. And again, the want is 187 murder suspect. CHP received information from Santa Monica PD that was a confirmed 187 that happened either Sunday or Monday. That's the information that we got from CHP. Now, Santa Monica PD said, we've got this pursuit. We're just looking for some backup from the CHP, but our officers are going to be the primary lead in this pursuit. However, it appears they have backed out. CHP and the LAPD are the ones currently in pursuit. There's an LAPD air unit overhead. You can see there's a black and white about a block and a half behind. Now, this pursuit has gone from the valley down here into Hollywood and now in the Harvard Heights area. It was on the 405, then got on the 101, and now here in Hollywood. Very reckless driving, as you can see, Sheba and Jamie, on the wrong side of the road multiple times here, and almost a collision right there at Washington and Vermont. Unclear how many people are inside of this Land Rover. They said unknown number of occupants, but at least one of the people, if there is more than they said unknown number of occupants, but at least one of the people, if there is more than one person in that Land Rover beyond the driver, wanted for a 187, a murder in the Santa Monica area. Santa Monica PD are the ones that initially wanted this vehicle, but very dangerous driving here in the middle of rush hour now in the Harvard Heights area, which is basically, near the Hollywood area, University Park. Now we're heading a little bit further south, getting closer to Exposition Park. But very wild driving, as you can see.
Yeah.
And LAPD are the ones currently tracking it now, along with the CHP.
Well, that's Mark. I have to wonder, yesterday, we did all that reporting near the Santa Monica Pier where that shooting had taken place and a man had been killed. There was some conversation that a group of women may have interacted with that victim, and then a man came. So we don't know how many people are in the car, because could this be a group of people?
We don't know, and that's the exact place that my mind went to as well when I heard the CHP call out to their officers. This is a 187 out of Santa Monica, either on Sunday night or into Monday. So I have an assignment editor in the newsroom calling Santa Monica PD to confirm whether or not this is indeed the 187 suspects from that murder case that you were talking about. I looked at our archives. I don't see any other reports of 187s or homicides in the Santa Monica area. It's possible that they happen and that they're just not on the radar right now. But being that it's so recent, in the last basically 24 to 48 hours, this is a very fresh case. Santa Monica PD, again, had apparently started this pursuit all the way up in the San Fernando Valley, tracking those suspects all the way up there. Unknown if it started with detectives or with uniformed officers, but there again, you see, let's see, we are...
seeing the car has gotten on the interstate.
That's on the 10 now, that's right. And I believe we are heading eastbound on the 10, so heading further away from Santa Monica. Now, CHP, they said that they were ready to assist Santa Monica PD. Santa Monica PD said, no, we're going to stay with this one. Just now, about in the last 5 minutes, I heard on the radio that Santa Monica PD is backing out, and CHP may end up being the primary agency here. Taking a look overhead, I do see that there is an LAPD airship or some kind of law enforcement airship that's going to be tracking this on the freeway. But the lead agency, the lead officer in this pursuit was saying that this driver is driving extremely recklessly, going in and out of traffic.
Over 100 miles per hour right
now. Yeah, exactly. 100 miles an hour on the eastbound 10. We're now passing on the south side of downtown LA, so this area gets very congested.
Yeah, this time of day, I'm surprised he's able to go this fast.
You're right, exactly. There are lights and sirens behind this driver now across all lanes, getting off here now right near the southeast end of downtown LA. So we're not transitioning to another freeway here. We're now going to be on surface streets. This is going to take us into the South LA area or potentially into the city of Vernon, or maybe we're immediately getting back on to the freeway again here. So some very reckless driving. We've seen wrong side of the road, but again, unknown how many people are in this vehicle or if they're armed or not.
Well, this is an interesting area of town, too, especially this time of day. It can be very congested, but also you have so many other freeways and downtown on and off ramps that he or she has many opportunities to potentially continue driving this erratically on both the highway and surface streets, getting on and off, as we just witnessed happen.
That's exactly right. And you're just going to see more of that reckless driving, as you can see, in and out of lanes. This is going to make it difficult for law enforcement to keep up, because they have to consider civilian safety as well as officer safety here. But that LAPD unit, working with their law enforcement partners on the ground, is going to keep tracking this. The airspace is pretty clear. Also, visibility is good right now, so we're not really going to run into any problems. And we're heading away from the LAX TFR. Also good for aviation in keeping eyes on this vehicle as they continue now here on the eastbound 10.
The windows are also so dark, Mark. Sometimes at this point we can kind of see if there's one or two people in the vehicle or some motion. You really can't see anything on this vehicle.
Yeah, that's also, of course, an issue concerning for law enforcement when they can't get a good read on the people inside, what they're doing, how many people are inside. All of this is troubling for law enforcement. Of course, ratchets up the tension and the danger. And of course, just very reckless driving. I mean, weaving in and out of traffic. This can be fatiguing for the driver in this pursuit. The adrenaline is going, but eventually they're going to get tired, and that's when they make a mistake, and that can have deadly consequences for people on the freeway.
It is interesting. You said they started in the San Fernando Valley, then they headed west.
South on the 405 from Roscoe is about where we heard the lights and sirens pop up.
And now we're almost making a loop by getting back on the 10. So you have to wonder, do they have a plan? Do they not have a plan? Are they going back somewhere?
Now they're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, well, this time of day on the 10, you can see it's allowing officers to be able to get closer.
To catch up to them.
Yeah, those CHP officers, I mean, this is specifically what they're trained in. They're excellent at doing pursuits on the freeway. They drive the freeways all day and all night in Southern California. But this is still extremely dangerous, as that lead CHP officer is right behind this 187 suspect in this 2018 Land Rover, as you mentioned, with very dark tinted windows. Now, I was trying to listen to radio traffic from that lead officer who was calling out some information to the air unit. Let me get with you in just a second here. I want to hear what this lead officer is saying.
Okay, we'll let you listen to that, Mark, and we'll keep people updated as to what's happening. You can see those officers are very close behind the vehicle. However, the driver driving very erratically, kind of getting into some tight spots. It's going to be hazardous for officers to try to get to this person now locked in.
Yeah, and putting in a more dangerous situation, because the driver's clearly not going to stop. Sometimes you wonder if officers get a little bit closer, if they'll hesitate or think about stopping. This vehicle seems more determined to get away from officers, even in this heavy traffic, running this car off the road just now on the I-10 East. And we should bring Kalina in here, because this driver's now running into congestion, Kalina, as we see them moving down the 10.
Yeah, I remember you guys mentioning, he was kind of flying along the 10 eastbound. So typically the traffic pattern for the morning commute is westbound. So he wasn't running into any of those delays because he was traveling eastbound, and that specific spot in Boyle Heights, that does have a lot of congestion, whoever this person is, and that's why he ran into it, or this person ran into it right in that spot. But now, as you can see, he's flying, right? 10 eastbound now, not a lot of traffic, going 91 miles per hour. And because of summer vacation, a lot of people are on break right now. We're not seeing the volume out on the roadways that we typically do see. So that's a factor as well, and that's why this person is gaining so much ground, going 120 miles per hour. That is insane. So as this driver continues to drive through on the 10 eastbound, it is wide open eastbound the entire way, pretty much into the Inland Empire. So just keep that in mind, because this person's traveling opposite what the morning commute is. For the morning, you drive in the westbound direction. Mark, you're gathering more information on this?
Mark.
Okay, so just got some information from the CHP. That lead officer was able, despite the very dark tinted windows on that Range Rover, to determine there is only one person in this Land Rover, just the driver.
Do we know if they're male or female?
Don't know. They just said the lead officer did tell the air unit, I only see what appears to be one person right now in this Land Rover. So they're dealing with a single 187 suspect here, as Colleen was saying, eastbound on the 10, still weaving in and and out of traffic, 95 to 100 miles an hour. Very reckless driving here. CHP determined to stay with it. Santa Monica PD has told CHP, we want to take the suspect into custody. We need to take them into custody. So this looks like this is going to be one of those situations where pending officer and civilian safety, they are going to stay lights and sirens behind this. They want to bring this pursuit to an end.
Question mark. When we were talking about the murder case yesterday, and there was some information about it was potentially a group of women had gotten into an altercation with a man, and then a potential other man showed up and shot and killed that person. Do we know in this situation, we don't know if it's a man or woman at this point in time, so it could have been either party potentially involved. But is the desk working to see if there had been a vehicle description at that point in time?
You know, I immediately went back and checked our own archive about the information that Santa Monica PD put out regarding this homicide. And you are correct. It says the statement from the news release says the preliminary investigation indicates a physical altercation between two groups of people prior to the shooting. The circumstances leading up to that, though, remain under investigation. The identity of the victim being withheld pending notification of next of kin, but the suspect or suspects in this case remain outstanding. Santa Monica PD detectives actively investigating. There is no additional suspect information to release at this time.
So no
we did not get
description.
a vehicle description yesterday for this.
So I'm wondering how they were able to maybe determine that this was a murder suspect. That's something that we'll have to learn as you know, this pursuit does hopefully come to some conclusion here in a bit. But it definitely, if you know that you are a potential murder suspect, you are not going to stop likely for police at this point.
Yeah, murder suspects, of course, you know, there is a lot of murder suspects. They have this added incentive to not stop because of the severity of the charge. And it's very possible that Santa Monica detectives were aware of the vehicle and they were actively pursuing this vehicle since yesterday, or at least searching for it. They may not have released that in the news release because that was not something that they needed public help with confirming, or possibly they didn't release that information because they didn't want to lead the suspect to believe that they knew about the vehicle. So sometimes detectives do not release all of the information to the public. In a form of this type of a news release we've seen at the desk, this is more just to let people know that they are working on this case. It was not a request for public help to track down this vehicle. So it's very likely that Santa Monica PD has been looking for this Land Rover since yesterday, and they just happened to have found it in the San Fernando Valley. Now we're seeing this pursuit getting off here. Let's see, I'm gonna check the radar. We're essentially in the San Gabriel area right now, getting off Hellman Avenue there in the San Gabriel. CHP still behind, and just some really aggressive driving here by this driver. Hard on the gas as they're coming off the freeway, maintaining 70 miles an hour on surface streets here. Extremely dangerous. And
we saw that earlier, driving really erratically on those surface streets as well, and then took that on the interstate and went even faster speeds. Now, we've been watching this for around 10-15 minutes, Mark, but do we know what time this started?
Yeah, I mean, initially this was just about 7:15, I want to say, is when we started to get the first reports from the CHP that they were getting requests by Santa Monica PD to enter into this pursuit. So perhaps you got to imagine right around that time, Santa Monica PD all the way out of their jurisdiction, I mean, way up in the San Fernando Valley. Very likely their officers maybe were not as familiar with that area up there. It's common for agencies that are outside of their limits or their jurisdiction to ask for help from another agency. Their officers are just more familiar with the roads in that area. But yeah, now it has proceeded all the way into the San Gabriel Valley, getting further and further away from Santa Monica.
Well, if people are just joining us right now, as you said, this has been going on since 7:15. We learned about it while it was in the San Fernando Valley. Then the vehicle, the 2018 Land Rover, took off going through Koreatown and then through the downtown area, now in the San Gabriel Valley. So really hitting a lot of different areas of Southern California right now. And as Mark's been reporting, just so many different jurisdictions and police departments having to kind of go in and out as we pursue this vehicle right now. It is a murder suspect. It's a murder that took place out of Santa Monica. As we reported as a station yesterday, there had been a murder that took place by the Santa Monica Pier. Oh, and now we are seeing that vehicle go up on the median there, come back down. We'll have to see if there's any damage.
Okay.
And now,
This
could be coming to a conclusion.
So there was that opportunity there to do that pit maneuver. As you can see, CHP being very aggressive. They did not wait at all. Now we're seeing them very aggressively pull out what appears to be,
a man.
It looks like a man. and it looks like that may have been the only person in the vehicle, as they're not even attempting to clear the rest of that vehicle. They must have been able to see inside, wrestling that suspect there now to the ground, pulled him out through the passenger side.
Which means it almost looks like he was going to run because he wasn't in the driver's seat anymore, and that only was a couple of seconds there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there looked like there was some resistance from that suspect, but CHP tackling him, that's all CHP right there. They're going to do one more quick check of the vehicle, but it looks like indeed there really only was just the driver in that Land Rover, and now that suspect in handcuffs on the ground. This is going to end up being a code 4.
Now, it appears, too, it doesn't look like any other vehicles were involved in this. They did that pit maneuver to the median, and is that the only car involved?
I think so. I mean, I actually just had turned my head. I heard you guys exclaim that it had gone up on the median there.
Right before it went up on the median, it either nearly touched or actually touched, I think, a vehicle.
One of the vehicles?
Yeah, I think that's what made it go up on the median.
Okay, so that could have been when we're going to see some of that video here again. This is just from about 2 or 3 minutes ago when they got off the freeway there in the San Gabriel area. But yeah, it looks like that driver lost control, and just that lead CHP officer took that opportunity. There were maybe no other civilian vehicles in front or on the side, so they just did that pit maneuver and were able to take that suspect into custody now. I do not hear a request for a rescue ambulance yet, but they could do that after they evaluate if this driver here has been injured in any way, but it didn't look like there wasn't any taser use here or any shots fired, just some physical force to take that suspect into custody.
No, they were able to get him out of the car pretty quickly.
Right, and it's such a good thing because we've been watching this for a minute, and the driver was driving more and more erratically. We saw him drive into one-way traffic at some points. He was on surface streets cutting people off, as he did right before this pit maneuver happened, and then on the interstate going at sometimes 120 miles per hour. Bobbing and weaving through traffic, and then also traffic was getting congested in some areas. That was not slowing this driver down at all. So this is really good to see this come to an end peacefully, and as far as we know, without anyone else injured.
Yeah, you can see officers are now checking him out, making sure, as Mark said, that he is not injured in any way. He may have to go to the hospital or get some medical treatment before they take him to jail. But at this point, again, if you are just joining us, he was in a 2018 Land Rover. The pursuit started around 7:15 a.m. in the San Fernando Valley. It was called in as a murder suspect out of Santa Monica. As we've been reporting, there was a shooting death that had taken place near the Santa Monica Pier. There's still a lot of questions surrounding kind of what led up to the altercation that potentially led to that shooting. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen as the suspect's being taken into custody, going from the driver's side to the passenger side and then out. The left-hand side of your screen is what's happening live right now, where they are checking him out before taking him to jail.
Absolutely, and that going up on the curb is really what allowed officers to do that pit maneuver and stop him, because he was going at such erratic and high speeds just before this. You see him slow down in the moment after he hit the curb, and you wonder if it just disoriented him a little bit and he was checking on the vehicle, or maybe one of the tires was damaged when it went up on the curb. But either way, you saw that slowing there allow officers to do that pit maneuver again on this wanted murder suspect who was wanted out of Santa Monica, and started this pursuit at around 7:15 this morning. And as you mentioned earlier, a person like this continues driving erratically because they're facing such serious charges, and now facing even more charges, Mark, for evading police.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, this was reckless driving, certainly felony evading, probably resisting arrest at the end. There are multiple other felonies now tacked on to this charge of 187, which of course is murder. We have talked to Santa Monica PD now twice on the phone for more information. They say, their public information officer is preparing information about this. They don't have anything to share, but they do confirm that this is a wanted 187 suspect out of the Santa Monica PD area, but just not which 187. The one, obviously, that we're asking about, is it this case of this shooting near the Santa Monica Pier that happened, I guess it was Sunday night, overnight into Monday morning. Well,
and we just want to point out the left-hand side of your screen is SkyCal. It looks like it's going back to potentially refuel, or is just done with reporting on this pursuit. The right-hand side of your screen is what happened earlier. I gave kind of a little chuckle. You can see officers fist bumping one another. This did come to potentially one of the better conclusions than what could have happened, as you saw this car going in and out. So the officers should be fist bumping one another with something like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is ultimately the best outcome. There's no injuries. There's been no other collisions except for that minor one that you saw there. And you're dealing with a suspect that has an allegation of essentially, willing to kill someone, a violent death. Law enforcement has to deal with that possibility. This person, at least the allegation is that they have killed someone already. So there's a very high issue here with the danger regarding what will this suspect do to avoid being caught. But again, CHP able to take this suspect into custody with no injuries and virtually no damage either to that Land Rover. I mean, no damage to any sort of public or private property here. So that's really a great outcome in this sense. This suspect now going to, face the charges that have been levied against them if this is indeed the murder suspect that they were looking for. And hopefully this section here of Paramount and Arroyo Drive here will not be closed too long, but they're going to have to tow that vehicle out of there. Certainly that vehicle is going to be evidence in this case as well. Santa Monica PD, of course, going to cooperate with the CHP in getting that suspect probably extradited back to Santa Monica where they will face charges.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's been so many different locations today. This incident, the murder happening in Santa Monica. The suspect then starts the pursuit in the San Fernando Valley. You can see he nearly hit the Montebello sign in the San Gabriel Valley. So it's going to be a lot for lawyers and law enforcement to dive into here when charging him.
Glad that this one came to an end and as peacefully as it possibly could.